Welcome, everybody, to the Original Rover podcast. The Original Rover Network. It's time to talk about All Out 2022. Is the, I think, third year in a row that we do this, and each year is not as good as it was the first time. This one probably didn't have a lot of surprises. Nothing of interest towards till the end. The main matches that we have for this card. The winners, some of them were agreeing on, some of them, but at least we knew that, like Jon Moxley and CM Punk. Paul has said to me before we went on air, I think CM Punk is going to win because of the promo and all of that. So I think, okay. And, at least we get a good hook for what is going to be the next Dynamite.
Yeah, and it's already out there. Everybody's following this pay-per-view. It's what everybody was looking forward to. And, MJF, he's back. That's the thing. Everybody's excited about it. And besides that, and the main event match, Jon Moxley and CM Punk, I mean, if you liked Omega and the Bucks and you like a certain other guys, you're probably excited for their match. But almost everything besides, that last, 40 minutes of the show, to me, felt just like I was watching an episode of Dynamite. And
it wasn't as like it could have been.
Nothing really felt, that pay-per-view caliber level. And I don't know if it was the commentary team not being good, at least in my opinion. They weren't very good. They weren't selling it. They didn't have that excitement level. It felt just like a Dynamite. So I don't know. But
to me, also, Paul, I don't know if you felt this way, but like they were rushing it. They were rushing every single thing. Like, come on, let's go. Okay, this is over. Come on.
That's what I mean. It didn't feel like they were excited and enjoying it. It felt like they were under pressure. Like they were.
Oh my God, come on, let's go. And it's not good that you have 15 matches in a show. 4 matches you had, and now it's not called the buy-in. It's called 0 hour. And then, we get the other 11 matches in the pay-per-view. How are you guys supposed to get excited? And we're not like, here we're not WWE marks, AEW marks, none of that. But we just talk about logically what benefits the crowd, what benefits you as a fan and your attention span. So, for example, like to have 6-7 matches like we did in WWE Clash of the Castle, that, by the way, we have the review. So don't forget to check that out, right there. Roman Reigns defeating Drew McIntyre and Solo Sikoa showing up and completing the bloodline. He's not with you, so they're all 4. So, it's a lot more easy to watch rather than 11 matches, one on top of the other. The one is not even celebrating, it's not even done celebrating. And then we go, let's get the music with the other ones. Hikaru Shida, like, even didn't get to the ring, and Toni Storm already was, like, coming out. So, that's what it was. But let's talk about everything. Thank you so very much to every single one of you. Welcome one more time. Don't forget to subscribe and help us to get the channel to grow. This is all 0 hours, so we're not going to spend a lot of time on this because it's just, matches that these guys need to be featured on the pay-per-view. And this is Hook going against one of the members. They are the Jericho Society, and it goes for the FWT or the FTW title. And also Hook retained the championship. This title, does it mean anything, Paul? Nothing, right? Who cares? Nobody cares about Hook, like the expectation.
I don't watch the pre-show for reasons like this. I turned on the program at 7:59, and that's when I started watching.
Exactly.
There's no point.
That's what we had with that. We got Pac. This is an underestimated guy everywhere he goes, Paul. He WWE done. He never made it to the main show. Here, he's the Atlantic champion. And that title already on the buy-in or 0 hour. Why? Against Kip Sabian, he won Black Arrow. Nobody cares. Absolutely bad. This is the next feud for him. So Orange Cassidy, finally, especially for Paul and a lot of people that do not agree with Orange Cassidy, he's gonna be just his spot like mid-card low. This is gonna be the next feud for that, Paul. Nobody really cared. One more time. So let's go to the next one here. Eddie Kingston, we want to see him going against Sammy Guevara, right? That's what I feel. That's the main feud. That's the interest here. He went against Tomohiro Ishii. Eddie Kingston gets the win. Again, we don't really care about this. We're not a lot of expectations on that.
Almost all those matches to me felt like you went into the the single match and you hit random on wrestler and it scrolled and it picked one and it picked another one and there was a match. It was
now it's time for meat and potatoes. There you go. The Casino Battle Royale. Roswell open all out. 2022. We got to see Claudio Castagnoli, Wheeler Yuta came back, Pentagon, all of that, Ray Phoenix, all of you hear the Ingobernables with Rush and Andrade. What do you think about this? A lot of high risk spots. Enjoyable till until the end, because the end was a little weird for me. I didn't like it, but tell me a little bit about this, Paul.
This was just it kind of to mimic Clash at the Castle. It was the match that there's just a lot of awkwardness going on, and
Damage
that,
control against,
and
Bianca.
in the match. I mean, you had Wheeler Yuta, and he's going against Phoenix, and then Rush comes out, and the whole time it's just, anybody can climb the ladder and pull down the poker chip at any time. You don't have to wait for everybody to be out. And Rush is on the entrance, pretty much doing his shtick as Wheeler Yuta's climbing the ladder, and he's about to win the thing because he has to obviously not look like a moron and just wait there for Rush to come down. So Phoenix has to, climb up, even though he was supposed to be laying there selling, and he has to climb, and, because Rush is an idiot and doesn't run to the ring, and he has to, I got to do my whole gimmick. So, I mean, it proves that everybody's a moron. This whole thing is booked like shit. Then Andrade comes down, like you said. Then they try to wedge ladders everywhere and do big moves to people instead of working together and just climbing up and winning right away.
And of course, doing his moves. I mean,
so
cool,
nothing makes sense. I mean,
they win anything like that,
It's cool, but when they do it 100 times and you're going to forget about it tomorrow, so was it really that cool? I guess.
And on Dynamite, you do the same thing, or even something even more riskier than what you do.
Yeah, so I mean, essentially, at the end of this thing, you saw somebody come out. It's like, what the heck? Who's this? Is that's not the Joker? They ruined it right away. Instead of saying, is that the Joker? Who is it? They said, they just buried the whole lead. Well, that's not the Joker. Then he took off the hood, and then you saw it was what's his name, Malcolm Bivens.
Like Bivens, but like Stagehag, something like that is his name over here on AEW. He's just good at making moves. So it seems like
so then we see his group, and it's like Ethan Page and a couple other people. One of the Gun Club kids and stuff like that. And then I think the Private Party or somebody's in there, or not Private Party, somebody, one of the guys is in there, the Shoddy Lee Johnson, somebody. But then we see here's the actual Joker comes out, and then he gets handed the poker chip by Michael Bivens or whatever, Malcolm Bivens.
Exactly. Michael Bivens. WWE is a lot easier with the name, so we're gonna call it like
and
that.
And then he gets that, and then his name will come to me, the AEW name, but I mean, then he gets it, and it's like, okay. This was weird. Claudio was in the match, and he didn't really do too much. I mean, he had the awkward spot where Andrade was laying on a ladder, and he was trying to lift it up, and it was just this weird, awkward spot, and then Andrade just took a bump to the outside of the ring after like 45 seconds of awkwardness. So, yeah, I mean, just not very good, and not a good way to start the show, but thankfully the crowd will eat up shit on a silver platter if you feed it to them. So, they were cheering for it, and it made it seem, I guess, better than it was, but it really wasn't good.
No, it wasn't. And for example, remember the last 2 years, it was like some big surprise, somebody.
And it was, and now it's like, okay. And then when you find out who it is, we could say, but what did you think it was better when you found out who it was at the end? It didn't make it any better. I mean, that's like saying, what about when the Black Scorpion was Ric Flair? It's like, the Black Scorpion was still a stupid gimmick. This was still a stupid way to do it. But anyway, it should have just been empty.
You're using this type of matches for somebody that doesn't need them.
And you know what I mean? What if Penta or one of these guys broke their neck and been paralyzed or died or something just for MJF to win?
Or nothing. Exactly. So why would you do that? Like the Joker up to that point. So let's go to the next one, Paul. And this is like the finals, of course, of the tournament for the Trios Championship. And this match, or these titles, were constructed, were designed for the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega. That's how it is. It doesn't matter what you're gonna sell me. It doesn't matter what you need to tell me, because I will not believe anything just because the reason that these titles are there is because, we're the Young Bucks, we won titles. Kenny Omega is one of our guys. We won a title for him also. So let's have the final against, the best friends that Adam Hangman, not the best friend, the Dark Order and Adam Hangman Page. I mean, the match is something that we've been seeing, throughout this whole era of AEW. Spots fest, the Young Bucks are good at that. Super kicks. Adam Hangman Page, went from champion to like kind of still be in the main event status, and now he's just like, whatever, we're just gonna put it with your buddies. That's all it is. Kenny Omega returning, main reason he's just there again, he's not fully recovered, so he cannot have singles matches all the time.
Yeah, so the one good thing is at least he didn't have all that shit on him, the big Michelin Man coat and everything. But yes, I mean, this was the Bucks did the Bucks match. Omega did his stuff, maybe not to the full extent, but I mean, I would think the impressive people in this were Reynolds and Silver. They actually, I thought, okay, these guys can, if they weren't bogged down with such just awful, goofy gimmick, and you could maybe see these guys as an underdog babyface tag team, but it was the whole thing is Hangman was kind of not trusting him, wanted to almost do it on his own. He wouldn't tag in and stuff, but eventually, all working together and all that. Like you said, he hits Omega with the buckshot. He goes up for another one, gets ready to hit that, but he accidentally hit Silver, and then the Bucks and Silver was, I think, the legal man, or it doesn't matter because they just all fly around.
They don't follow that.
They don't follow that. So who the hell knows who the legal man actually was? And Omega pins John Silver 1, 2, 3, so they win. And I mean, it's an outcome everybody knew. And I mean, if you're excited for this, I mean, good for you, but it's definitely not for me.
Yeah, it is like Triple H. If they defeated our developmental brand, good for you. It seems that way because, again, like you always say, it's like they make it so easy to guess. It's not, maybe I'm going to put a swerve and get the Dark Order to win. Or, the best friends. It's like, these titles, they're going to show up. Why? Because Kenny and the Bucks won it. We're going to give them to them. It's a lot of, easy deduction. So I don't really, I'm a fan of that. So, moving forward, I mean, the Bucks and Omega have a title. That's good because the game is coming out. And like you said, the FTR is not even in it. Let's move on to the next one because there's more matches to talk about. This one was for the TBS Championship, Athena against She-Hulk. A lot of people say, why She-Hulk? Because, of course, Paul, all love this, legit. I mean, it's a really great cosplay. We love the know. So especially Paul is, our expert in toys.
I saw somebody said that China did it better, and I was like, well, I don't know about that. But
yeah,
did She-Hulk better? I was gonna say I don't know about watching that She-Hulk movie at least when the kids are around. But no, I mean this match, I thought, okay, maybe they're gonna, give it to Athena because,
switch, right?
Yeah, and I mean, she started out hot, boom, boom, boom. She hit the eclipse right away, but then the baddies were there and everything, and of course they interfered. And again, that's what kind of made it feel like a Dynamite match because you had all the interference and you had everything else. This was just one-on-one, and just the power of Jade was too much. I think that would have made the match feel a little better. And like they said, Jade was kind of fighting from behind, not fighting from behind, but really selling, oh man, she was kind of staggering, this and that, but no, she
put more effort into this.
Exactly. She wasn't in full control, but eventually, Glam Slam and done, or the Jaded, whatever she calls it.
37-0, Paul.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the things where, I mean, hey, they really don't have anybody else in that women's division. I mean, who else can they sign? Because once they sign people, it's like the longer you're in the women's division, unless you're like Britt Baker or Jade, your stock just goes down. You become less popular, less legit.
Yeah. No, it is true. And for example,
ask like a Ruby Soho, ask Hikaru Shida, ask any of them.
Yeah, it's very, and a lot of people are saying that there's a lot of reports, there's a lot of places they're saying that the women's division is going down ever since Thunder Rosa became the champion, not because she's not good, but it's just the charisma is not there. And you said even when she broke Jamie Hayter's the nose, she went crying in the bathroom. A lot of backstage little things happen, even in the least Paul. She's like, see, I told you I was right. She sucks. Yeah, you should have listened to me. I don't want to say fully, oh yeah, at least you were right, but the injury for Thunder Rosa. I mean, Jade, for me, she should have dropped the title to Athena or Amber Moon, however you want to call her. And then, now that we know who the babyface is champion in the women's division, go against her. Easy. You're having Jade is still undefeated up to that point, but or make her something. Do something maybe she changes the title. Because Jade is, for me, the future of that division. Jade is powerful, good wrestler, and she's getting better. There you go, Paul. Moving on, this was to me at least, for the fact that the Motor City Machine Guns, they were there. I was going to be it's a good match, FTR, great stuff. But to me, it just divided in two things. The tag team match in between those two, the Warlord and Jay Lethal, but the ending was really trash. I mean, the Motor City Machine Gun didn't look bad, but FTR we're here because we have a match. We're not in the game, whatever.
This is, if you look at this on paper, you go, oh my God, this could be match of the night. And I hate 6-man. I mean, I wouldn't say it's match of the night just because it's 6-man. Like I said, you could put anybody in there and it's not going to be good just because it's not set up to be good. It's set up to be a match for the marks, so they can see 6 of their favorite guys in one match. And I mean, that's what this was. Like you said, it was a tag team match, and then it was a one-on-one match. And I mean, the Motor City Machine Guns. I mean, Chris Sabin, he's in there wrestling. Looks like he's 22 years old.
He's
I mean, the dude is awesome. Alex Shelley's. I mean, all 6 of these guys awesome. All 6 of these guys awesome.
Yeah.
And like you said, but no, this is Wardlow, Powerbomb and Boom, Jay Lethal. I mean, great match, great interactions. They hit the big rig, and I mean, it was an awesome match for the spots that were in there, sections of it. But as everything, watching it as a whole, and then at the ending, then they bring out his kid who Sanjay Dutt was making fun of and stuff. And I understand, like, their audience is really sensitive. They act like they're a family. That the whole audience and the wrestlers, they act like they're one big family, and especially with the whole Brody Lee thing. So now they're just going to capitalize on it. It's like now anytime that they can bring out a kid or include something like that, Tony Khan's going to do it. But
it takes away from me the seriousness of the match.
Yes, and it delegitimizes everything.
Yeah.
Now, any wrestler who signs with Sanjay Dutt is an idiot because they're like, look at this, you got beat up by this girl, and you're just it proves that he has no credibility as a manager.
And you shouldn't mix these interactions with kids. Do this outside of the pay-per-view.
Is it Stokely Hathaway?
Yes, it's Stokely Hathaway. Yeah.
Yeah. See, at least with him being paired with MJF, that we'll talk about, figured out, everybody knows about, at least now, anyways.
Yes.
It legitimizes him. It brings him up a little bit as a manager. He's not getting beat up and stepped on by an 8-year-old girl. And again, I'm not talking shit on the girl in real life. It's just in the wrestling angle.
Yes.
And by the way, Samoa Joe
also came back, but again, crickets. I mean, little Joe chants, but like, okay.
Because he comes out and they go, okay, why should we clap for you? Because you're barely on TV. You're not on an angle on this television. I mean, on this pay-per-view.
Main pay-per-view. You don't have anything to go for you. You're still the television Ring of Honor champion, but okay.
I mean, just because you're cool, but you're not doing anything. So okay.
And you think that like WWE used to like do shit to him? Hey, the grass is not always greener on the other side either. So I mean, I don't know. Tell me a little bit about Paul about these the tag team match. This was cool, serving your glory against the Acclaim. War of Words, Acclaim rapping, all of that. Everybody loves the Acclaim. That's the big thing. And I mean, in this match, I think that like Kid Lee had a great showing, and Swerve Scott also. Like, I mean, really, really cool. Like, it was like back and forth. A lot of like moments. Oh, the Acclaim is gonna win. Oh my God, no, 2 count.
Yeah, I mean, the Acclaimed. I think they proved that. Everybody said, "Oh, it's going to be Private Party."
Yeah.
And then that ship kind of self-destructed or blew up, or they got abducted by Matt Hardy, or whatever the hell happened to them. But they kind of fell apart, and then the Acclaimed, I think, are the new team, and same with the Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus. And the Acclaimed are one of the teams that are an AEW homegrown team, and or at least this is their first television anywhere, and they're over, and they're in these matches, and this is one where I thought, okay, if you are going to do a title change, kind of hot potato, this is the team to do it, and this is the crowd to do it, because the crowd was behind these guys.
Yeah.
Like you said, Keith Lee was on in this. He was looking pretty good. I mean, Billy Gunn out there and all the interactions, again, all of this stuff makes it feel just like a Dynamite match, because they do the exact same thing. They did nothing special here besides maybe give them longer time. And maybe just big spots going through tables and going through but they even do that on Dynamite. So nothing feels special. Nothing feels that it really sticks out. Swerve work and heel. I'm like, are they kind of heel? Are they heel? You know what I mean? Because didn't you kind of get that Swerve has that heel attitude?
Yeah.
So it's like, but his Keith Lee isn't like that. I mean, in the promo they showed, he's like, I'm sick of you talking, and he kind of had a little attitude, like, okay, easy, calm down, Keith Lee.
Relax, relax, buddy. Yeah.
But no, I mean, all jokes aside, I mean, it was a good match, but the champs retaining, again, I feel like they're champs that people like them maybe as singles wrestlers, but as a tag team, nobody feels that like legit excitement.
Yeah, no, I mean, like you said, hopefully, like they need like a stronger contenders to be like. That's the thing. For example, like even FTR said, like, why are not we fighting the Bugs again, or what are we not trying to get the AEW titles? You know, like it should be like tag teams that are tag teams. You know what I mean? It should be like stuff like that like people can really say, oh, this is actually a caliber pay-per-view match. You know, our tag team champions going against the tag team that has won a lot of championships on their own. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying I'm right.
Right.
I'm not saying I'm right or anything, but if I was booking this, if this is my company and I was booking this thing, there would have been no 6-man tag because there'd be no 6-man tag division. So that Young Bucks and Omega match wouldn't have been on the card, and this match wouldn't have been on the card, and it would have been the Young Bucks against FTR, and the Young Bucks would have been still the tag champs.
Yeah,
and because that's a match that makes sense. You know, it's the two best tag teams. But I mean, this was, it was what it was. Like I said, the Acclaim looked good. I almost wish they would have won, to be honest with you.
Exactly. So, let's go to something that was very, very, quick, Paul. And like you said, for example, why do you even have it if it's going to be that quick? At least for me. I want your thoughts on everything. But like for me, very quick, but like we knew the result. Powerhouse Hobbs against Ricky Starks. Good promo by Ricky, remember? Oh, yeah, I thought we were friends. And when you're my friend, you're in my circle. You were tied. We're going to you are always going to be loyal to you. It's cool. And Powerhouse, he says, well, first of all, we were never friends, dude. Got the bullshit here. We were never friends. I just want to be the best here. And, I just use you. Really cool and all of that. Very quick match. And then we saw like the finisher that he does, like the spine buster. And that's it. That was it.
Yeah, I mean, the match, for me, like you said, a little too quick. And watching it, you think, wow, I mean, if that's really all it wasn't anything where maybe Hobbs cheated. Like if you saw Hobbs reach in his tights, pull out brass knuckles, and boom, like a shot. Oh, like he hit him in the head, knocked him out. Big spine buster. He cheated to win. So there's an angle. I mean, man, he just beat the piss out of him, pinned him clean 1, 2, 3. I mean, yeah, I know you're trying to get the guy over, but what does that do to Ricky Starks? Now he looks like a moron.
You're burying the guy. I mean,
but I mean, that's what I said. That's what I said.
3 minutes, 4 minutes?
2 weeks ago, I said the same thing. I said, this match, the promo and everything is good, but somebody has to lose, and neither one of these two guys should be losing right now. So there was no point to do this. It sucks for Ricky Starks. It didn't do nothing for him because you can still lose in a match and still get over, but not this way.
No, it was very quick. Like I said to you, one-sided spine buster, and that's it. Powerhouse gets the win. At least one win on pay-per-view. That makes him look good. Let's go to the women's championship match, fatal 4-way. Here, Paul, didn't you hear this? Jamie Hayter. Everybody wanted Jamie Hayter to win. Why do you have a fatal 4-way if you're going to give me the same winner that it was supposed to be if there was going to be a one-on-one match? That's the one thing I would have gone with Jamie Hayter just because it's something out of it's different. Nobody was expecting this, but everybody was chanting for that. Britt Baker, still after being champion is finding her spot in the division. Same thing for Hikaru Shida. Neither one of them have been able to be the same. Maybe because they were the only women in that division.
Britt Baker is still over by far. She's the most over woman in the whole division. But Hikaru Shida, to me, don't feel the same. Even when she comes out and she cuts the promos and just her energy, she don't feel the same.
Yes.
I mean, Toni Storm, I mean, I guess she's over. And I don't know how her attitude is, if she's happy to be there and stuff. But still, to me, when she was in NXT and all this stuff, she just felt, more legit. I don't know what it is. But, to me, Jamie Hayter should have won this.
Yep.
Again, a fatal 4-way, just the spots. Boom, you hit a big move, then I'll come in and I'll hit a big move and I can't get into it because the women's division is booked like shit because there's just no singles feuds.
I'm going to help you get into it because look at that. Well, anyway.
Yeah, that's, it helps. But, like we said, all jokes aside, the cake can only last so long, and then you got to snap back to reality that it's man, this women's division
Toni
sucks.
Storm gets the win. She's the interim women's champion. I don't know. Again, if that was going to be the end result, I would just give her the title instead of having a match. She's going to face Thunder Rosa. And I'm thinking Tony will be the champion, and then you need like Jade Cargill just to be the heel going after her, because that will be at least interesting to see in this women's division that it needs it.
If
Tony,
they would
like
do
you
that,
said,
I think they might wait till Thunder Rosa comes back and then they have the match to see who's the champion. Because remember, she's not the actual champion. This is the interim.
Yeah.
Again,
she's
it's
not
the same.
champion,
It's the same interim bullshit that they did with Jon Moxley. So
Yeah, because like in the Tony Khan's view, they don't want him to relinquish. Although Thunder Rosa had asked to relinquish the title, like no, we're gonna do it legit, and Tony's my company. I'm gonna do it however I want it. And there you go. For all of you guys, there you go. Like that's like what you guys are gonna see. And I mean, like you said, cool for Toni Storm, because remember, she was never able to be NXT champion, so that's at least
and
something.
even winning, I mean, it felt like okay. I mean, I don't want to say I hate Toni Storm, because I don't, but still, even her winning, it wasn't where it's something where I'm almost like, oh yes, this is awesome. It's just like okay, the only person I would have
we're expecting it.
The only person I would have popped for would have been Jamie Hayter. I thought they would maybe. I'm like, well, they're not going to do Britt Baker because they have a lot of heat.
Yeah.
So I thought maybe Jamie Hayter, because that's like, okay, that's the Britt Baker 2.0. It's the heel. She worked with Britt, but it's not actually Britt. So I thought they would do that for her and Thunder Rosa. And then, like I said, maybe Rosa wins, retains, and then you do Rosa versus Jade.
Yeah, that would have been the logical way, but you know what I mean? That's what they did it. Another one, moving on, Paul. Congratulations to Toni Storm. There you go. This one was also very quick, but there was a reason at least. An attack from Luchasaurus. So and I'm happy that Jungle Boy lost this, because Christian, he's got a really, at the beginning of the run when he signed with AEW, was semi-cool, Impact champion, all of that. He beat Kenny Omega in the first episode of Rampage. But then after that, it was done. But finally here, like you said, I remember when we did one of the Dynamites, you said he never turned on Jungle Boy. I'm not talking about Luchasaurus. Finally did. So that was cool to see. And what you thought on this?
Yeah, I said it's like, he never attacked Christian or anything yet. He just kind of stood there with Jungle Boy, but never beat up Christian, never did nothing like that. Christian comes out, he gets the heel heat, he goes up to the sister and the mom slaps him and all this shit. Luchasaurus comes out on stage, he grabs him, oh my god, slams him, puts him through, then they go down here, slams him through the table, all this stuff right in front of the family. In the ring, oh my god, are they going to do this match? Are they going to start it? I forget what Christian hit at first, but then Jungle Boy kicked out, and then Christian picked him up, hit the kill switch, or whatever, the unpretty or whatever you want to, or the spear. Yeah, and then 1, 2, 3, and this was great. It was because it was. I mean, now hopefully we're gonna, and we will. We're gonna see them have an actual match.
Yeah.
But this was great to have the match advertised on the card. It continues the feud, and it took 3 minutes.
Yeah. That's how you do it. I didn't mind that, because Christian at least got the win. Like I said, he needed
and it was good on a show like this that had 7,892 matches.
Exactly. Like when you have that many, why would you do that? So at least that's what we have, Paul. And let's go to the next one, because this, I'm happy about the winner. I know you're not, but there you go. A Lionheart against the American Dragon. This match was pretty decent. William Regal was on commentary. The only thing is Danielson, is he happy with the way that he's been booked? Because I don't think so. I don't know why Danielson. I mean, he's happy there.
Yeah, I mean, they had a good match. I mean, Danielson's great. Jericho is, since he's gotten in a little bit of better shape and stuff, his matches have improved. He's been able to see it, and he had to cheat to win. So he got that little heel heat in there, and maybe if this was just Jericho and Danielson having a feud, and Jericho cheated to win, and this kind of gets sympathy for the babyface Bryan Danielson, this would be okay. But the fact that it has to do with Daniel Garcia and all those other guys, that's what really kills this and makes this feel so shitty, so mid-card. And then they all come out to celebrate with him and all this, and it's so bad. And like you said, with Danielson, I mean, I'm still a fan with him, and sometimes when we say, oh, guys can lose, they can put people over, they're untouchable. I say that a couple times on, where we talk about WWE. Oh, Drew can lose here, like Clash at the Castle. Drew can lose there, he's still over. That's fine. There's certain guys that they can lose and they're over, and then they're okay. But man, I don't think Danielson's one of them no more. At least not for me. The guy loses all the time, or he struggles to beat people that aren't very good. And ever since he joined the Blackpool Combat Club, he's been relegated to, he's the worst member. He's in kayfabe right now. He's worse. He's worse than Wheeler Yuta.
Yuta is better, yeah. And he goes by the best professional wrestler.
So yeah, this is not good.
I mean, like in talking all about whatever like my likes or dislikes when it comes to Daniel, Bryan Danielson, the American Dragon, whatever. I feel that what you mentioned before is like the one thing is Jericho. He can afford to lose in this because he has a group that can support him, but not the Bryan Danielson. So that's the one thing that like they should have changed it. And also like the guy came out with such hype. Great matches with Kenny Omega, the match with Hangman Page. But after that, the Blackpool Society, done. Nobody cares about him. And he's, annoying because he deserves a little better. I don't know if he's the way that like he's been asking to be booked, or I don't know, the injury changes plans for him. I don't know. But the one thing is like at least Jericho gets a win and probably the feud will be over. We hope that it will be over. We want the feud to be over because again,
and like we said, when he cheated to win, for in case the people missed it or whatever, it had the ref backed up in the corner. Yeah, he did like the low blow to the mule kick behind him, kicked him in the nuts, hit the Judas 1, 2, 3, and I mean, they're maybe gonna have another match, but I don't think anybody cares. Anybody wants to see it.
No,
I think people are just done.
This pay-per-view time, Paul, and they need big matches. Jericho, Bryan, and him. It's like, oh, we don't have anything. You want to do something? Yeah, let's do it. Whatever. Lionheart. Yeah, that's fine. Boom. Let's pull something out. So again, pretty decent match, but that's all it was. Jericho gets the win. Good for them. This, I don't know why it's this in the pay-per-view. Like you said, the House of Black is probably the worst group on AEW, and all these guys are talented.
I don't know. They might. The trust.
You want to go back with Triple H? Go ahead.
I was going to say the Trust Busters or whatever their names are. They might be giving the House of Black a run for their money for the worst group on AEW. Yeah. But no, I mean, this was a match that there was no reason that this needed to be on the pay-per-view except you have to have Sting on every pay-per-view and Darby and all these guys when they
and
should
every
be.
time they're together, they win. And
instead, when you could have, not had your TNT champion in a 6-man tag, he could have been having a singles match against Miro.
Yes.
Or a singles match against Darby Allin or something, whatever. If you want to do a David and Goliath type match or something. But no, instead we get this 6-man. Miro doesn't want to work with these guys for the longest time. They start tagging themselves in. Darby starts selling because he's the underdog babyface. Sting comes in, makes the big comeback, spits the mist in Malachi Black's face. They beat him up. They get the pin. Who cares? I mean, yeah, she's hot, but I mean that's it. Nobody cares.
Oh no, yeah, no, I don't like it. No, and especially like tell me, Paul, why is Sting has to like be such good at his age? That's the part I don't get.
Because Tony Khan's paying him. Probably because Tony Khan's paying him like $70 million a year or something insane.
It's just to me. Oh yeah, he has like he blogs or like he had his own like green mist, and then Darby does the crucifix or whatever he did like to like pin him, and then this is it. The house, and for example, a group that like comes out like this, is it worth it for them to lose? That's my thing. Look at the entrance. This is like the WWE version of Judgment Day. At least Judgment Day are portrayed better.
To me, this is over the top.
Indies. I don't understand it. I just don't understand why Sting has to be that good. It's like you have the Undertaker, and the Undertaker still like buries everybody. I don't understand it. I don't like it either. So you tell me.
I mean, it's you say Undertaker, I say Papa Shango. To me, it's too over the top. They're not creepy, but in a believable way. They're creepy in a we're the high school emo goth kids who paint our faces and we're losers and nobody talks to us kind of way.
Yes, I don't like it. I'm telling you, I'm not a big fan.
It's not a good group. It's not a good gimmick. And like you said, Malachi Black, and then going back to Triple H was the only guy in NXT that presented this guy legit.
Yeah, that it knew how to like get the best out of him, the music, the entrance, and everything, but by himself. It took a few weeks. With Cody Rhodes and everything, he came back good and all of that. But then, then Brody King came. Oh, the House of Black and all of that. Oh, well, let's put Buddy Murphy or Buddy Matthews with me. Oh, great. No, like now it's just complete losers. Nobody cares about them. To the point that like Malachi legit asked for his release. I want to go back with Triple H. He understands me. He makes me look good. There you go. It's not gonna happen.
And his wife and his wife's over there.
Yeah, Selena is exactly. That's the pretty much the 80% of the reason. Probably the 20 he doesn't care. Whatever, I make my money. But my wife is over there. Why don't I go with my wife? And actually, if I'm presented legit, it's not gonna happen. So unfortunately, so Paul, let's talk about the main event just because this at least they promised us a match, because what we saw a week ago, it was not a match. And this is actually was a pretty decent, definitely better version of CM Punk. Jon Moxley gave his all, but like CM Punk looked a lot better. Like he wanted to have the match, and I enjoyed it for what it was. And really cool. Like we both knew that after that like promo that he had and all the whole storyline was asking for CM Punk to become the AEW World Champion once again.
Yeah, and I think they maybe wanted to do something. They told the storyline where they're like, hey, Moxley carried the torch for a little bit. Let's legitimize him. And I'm not defending it. I'm just maybe saying this is their reasoning. Let's give him the belt for 2 weeks or a week and a half or whatever it is. Let's legitimize him in the history books that he was the official champion for a week and a half, whatever, and then the belt goes back to Punk. But I mean, this match was good. I liked it. Punk, he started off hot in the beginning, on the offense, big kick right away, sent Moxley down. Oh my God, the foot's fine. Then they're brawling through the crowd, brawling through the outside, whatever. Moxley's on the run. He's on the defense. And, then, Punk, I forget what Moxley hit on Punk, whatever, but it was a DDT or something on the outside. But, then it's a big shot to the head. Then Moxley starts working the head and the neck and everything. Oh, no, he got sent into the ring post. That's what it was.
Yes.
Sent into the ring post. And then that's what, started bleeding, and then just more attacks to the head like you see here in the picture. And I think that's why CM Punk chose the white gear, because he knew he was going to get color, and he thought, man, that blood is going to look so cool all over my white trunks and everything. Mm-hmm. And, they had a great match. He goes for the go to sleep. He hit it actually early on before they went to the outside and everything, but Moxley kicked out because it was still too early in the match. And, Moxley, he hit the Death Rider, but CM Punk kicked out. And, I mean, lots of drama, the Bulldog choke, but Punk gets out, or he gets to the ropes and everything, reverses it. Eventually, he hits a go-to-sleep. Moxley hits the ropes, falls and lands on top of CM Punk, who was on his knees because he fell down from exhaustion. And he's laying there. And as soon as you saw it, anybody with a brain knew what he was going to do. And it's a cool visual. He picks him up again for a second go-to-sleep. Hits it, 1, 2, 3. You have CM Punk, your new and 2-time AEW World Heavyweight Champion. He's celebrating. It's all legit. The lights go out. You hear a recording. Hey,
Tony Khan. Blah. That's Tony Khan's voice.
Yeah, it's Tony Khan saying like, come back. We'll give you this money, and it's bleeped out how much money and this and that.
That was cool.
And then you see when MJF, he had the line in his promo about the devil and everything, and then it shows where he got the line from CM Punk, who said it in Ring of Honor how many years ago. So they showed that clip. Then they showed the Joker. He unmasked himself. It was MJF. MJF walks out. CM Punk holds up the title like, let's go, let's do it right now. The crowd, everybody chanting, cash in now, cash in now. He motions, whatever. MJF does like for the belt, does the belt motion at his waist, kind of flips off the crowd, walks away. Great way to close the show. So now
I would have been fine if he would have cashed in, though, because why? It starts the whole thing all over again. Why? He cashed in, he's finally the AEW World Champion, and CM Punk has to chase now.
To me, that makes CM Punk look like shit, I think. I mean, this was fine. It kind of, you don't want it, because you don't want to hot shot everything. Because then what? Then after then he wins, does CM Punk go one more time and give me a rematch, and then you do another? How far do you keep going? So for me anyway, that's my opinion. That's your opinion, and people, please comment your opinion as well. What would you have liked to see?
Let us know why you guys feel it would have been the best way to do this. But like you said, at least it was cool to say that like MJF is back. That was the only surprise after the whole show. I was
fine with that, because what do you again? When you did Adam Cole and then Bryan Danielson, then Adam Cole looks like a loser.
Yeah, the one overshadowed the other. That was pretty much it. And neither one of them. I mean, I heard like there's a rumor Adam Cole is clear. He will come back anytime soon. So maybe he can be involved in any type of feud. Bobby Fishbowl, he did not renew with AEW. So pretty much it's only Kyle O'Reilly and Adam Cole. But Kyle O'Reilly, he's gonna have surgery for neck fusion, so he's gonna be out for a long time. So the undisputed era pretty much is just Adam Cole up to this point. So family, I hope you guys enjoy this. Please comment, subscribe, help us out, with like a lot of likes, thumbs up. Let us know what you guys want us to cover, because we cover all types of wrestling right here. And let us know what you guys feel about this AEW All Out 2022. Where else can they find us?
And then make sure you follow us, Rope Break, on Facebook, the OG Rope Break on Twitter, Original Rope Break on Instagram, Twitch, and TikTok, and of course right here on YouTube, the home of the #1 podcast in the YouTube wrestling community, the Original Rope Break.
And you and me have one more thing that is left to say, and that is...